I'm going to try this one more time, and I swear to God, if anybody knows of a better streaming program than OBS, let me know. If you don't know what OBS is, then don't bother, because you wouldn't be of any help anyway. But if anybody knows of a better program than OBS, let me know, because I'm tired of this thing crashing all the time. It's really starting to aggravate me and piss me off now. And I don't have time for that kind of aggravation. I have enough, almost cussed there, but I have enough stuff in regular life that pisses me off on a consistent damn basis to have to be sitting out here screwing around with some stupid ass streaming program that crashes every other friggin' day. So if anybody knows of a better one, email me, please. crazyuncle.lou@gmail.com. But I'm going to try this one more time. But I'm sick of this happening. It's beyond the point of being extremely pissed off now. I mean, if my doctor had any idea how pissed off I was right now, he'd probably tell me I couldn't stream anymore. That's how pissed off I am right now. Every other day this happens, and it's really starting to piss me off now. So, like I said, email me, crazyuncle@gmail.com, if there's anybody that knows of a better way, a better streaming platform than OBS. I can't deal with this trash anymore. It's the Tennessee Vols of streaming programs. More phone calls? Good morning, you're on with Uncle Lou. Don't test me today.
Oh, hey, Lou, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, what's up, Lou? I just want to say I'm a big fan of you, and I think your videos are just great, and I just really enjoy this channel. So
well, I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I'm sorry I'm a little irritated today. It's definitely not your fault. So.
Oh, it's fine. I just want to say that I'm a diehard Notre Dame fan, and just want to say that I agree with you 100% on Notre Dame should join a conference. I know that's not the popular thing with Notre Dame fans, but I agree with you 100% on it. And I have kind of a theory of, what if Notre Dame were to join a conference, what should happen. I just want to kind of know what you think about it.
Okay.
So, one reason why I kind of would be tiptoeing around Notre Dame joining conference is I have a feeling Notre Dame would be joining the ACC, and I don't really want us to join the ACC, and can you blame me for that?
Well, I mean, geographically speaking, it's probably either that or the Big Ten. I think the ACC would benefit more. I think the ACC needs a team like Notre Dame more than the Big Ten does, but yeah. I think Notre Dame would have an easier path to get where they want to go year in and year out in the ACC than they would the Big Ten. Now, of course, these things change all the time. I mean, 10 years from now, the ACC may be the best conference on planet Earth, and the Big Ten may be in the dumps. Who knows? But right now, it's definitely easier to be in the ACC than it is the Big Ten. I don't think anybody would argue against that.
Yeah, and I mean, I personally would love to see Notre Dame join the Big Ten. I mean, and if the Big Ten were to add 2 teams, I think it should be Notre Dame and West Virginia. I think West Virginia, it works a lot better for the West Virginia, where their location is, to go to the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Right? Because they have to travel so far for each, conference game in the Big 12.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And there's a lot of rumors. I don't know, like, how true they are, but the Big 12 might be expanded in a few years. And happen. Maybe West Virginia could find a good place in the Big Ten, and Notre Dame could be in there too. And as a Notre Dame fan, I would love to be able to get the chance to play Michigan every year.
Right. Well,
Michigan
that's
State
the thing.
Year. Purdue is a big in-state rival for us.
Yeah, historically, it would make a lot of sense for Notre Dame to join the Big Ten, mainly for the reason you just mentioned, the Michigan rivalry. My thing is just, as a college football fan, I just think it would be better for college football if Notre Dame would join a conference. I'm obviously not a Notre Dame fan, and as far as the title of this video goes, that just has to do. I mean, I have eyes. I can see. I can see Notre Dame play, and then I can look at their schedule. It's not. It's not a big leap to think that they're going to be in the playoffs this year. I know that's separate from the conference conversation. Now, let's say Notre Dame loses one game this year, like to Syracuse. In fact, that would be very interesting if it was Syracuse that they lost to, because, of course, Clemson lost to Syracuse in the regular season last year and made the playoffs no problem. If Notre Dame were to go to 11-1 with a loss to Syracuse and not make the playoffs, pretty sure they'd be looking to get in the conference pretty soon after that.
Oh, without a doubt. And, I might be attacked from Notre Dame fans for, thinking this way. But, as for Notre Dame fans, it's going to happen at one point in time. We're going to have a good team. We'll slip up one game and be 11-1. And we're going to lose out on a playoff spot to a team that with the same record, but the thing is, they're a conference championship. And as a Notre Dame fan base, we're going to be devastated. We're going to be very disappointed. I think we should take this problem out right now instead of waiting for it to come into fruition.
Right. That would be smart. Yeah, because it's going to happen at some point. I mean, obviously, an undefeated Notre Dame is going to get in the playoffs every single year, but the problem is going to be when you have one loss, because if you have one loss, you're definitely not getting in over any other undefeated team, and it's not likely you would get in over any other one-loss conference champion. So if Notre Dame loses a game, you'd have to have a situation where multiple conferences had two-loss conference champions, and then hope that Notre Dame could get in over that. But I agree with you. Why not be proactive and do it now, like you said, rather than wait until it costs you a shot at the playoffs one year? But I just have a feeling Notre Dame has just been so hard-headed about this conference thing for years and years and years. I just have a feeling they're not going to cave. They're not going to give in until something like that happens.
It's going to happen without a doubt. It's going to happen. And, Notre Dame, we're going to be devastated when it happens, and it's going to happen. I'm telling you, it's going to happen, and we need to just take out the problem now.
Yeah, well, you sound like
I want it to be the Big Ten.
Yeah, you sound like a younger type person, and this is an older people. This is an old people problem. These old. They don't. We're Notre Dame. We don't need to change. We don't need a conference. These people that are 50, 60, 70 years old. I have a feeling the younger generation of Notre Dame fans is going to be much more open to the idea of Notre Dame joining a conference than the older generation is now. That they're kind of stuck in their ways. I mean, old people are like that in general, right? I mean, color TV comes out, old people tells you it's going to ruin the world. Cell phones come out, old people tell you it's going to ruin the world. LouTube comes out, Tennessee fan tell you it's going to ruin the world. I mean, this has been happening forever.
Yeah. Well, I just think Notre Dame joining a conference, I think, is not only better for Notre Dame, I think it'll be better for college football.
I agree. Thank you for the call, sir. I'm going to let you go. Let somebody else jump on. Don't forget, Brian Kelly is an atheist, and Touchdown Jesus is one loss away from converting to Islam. Let's try not to let that happen. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
What's up, Uncle Lou? It's Herschel. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, buddy. I'm doing good.
Hey, I just want to let you know I got my jersey. Awesome, man.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I got it the other day.
Took long enough, didn't it?
Well, Yeah. Hey, it's here though. That's all that matters.
Yeah. What's up today?
Hey, man, I'm so excited. I've been waiting on this LSU game for a long time. So excited for this week. I don't know. I guess it's just because we're about to play a game where the outcome is in doubt, I guess you could say. And that just, I don't know, that gets my blood going. But I really think Georgia's going to have a big week. I think we're going to come away with the W.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think they're offense.
You just need to keep this in mind, not just you, Georgia fans in general, but as far as the outcome being in doubt or whatever. You have to remember, our outcome was in doubt in the South Carolina game, according to most of these mouth breathers here. So, I mean, what's going to happen is Georgia's going to show up in Baton Rouge. They're going to beat LSU by 2 or 3 scores. It's not going to be close. It's going to be obvious that Georgia's the better team. And then all next week and for the rest of the season, all we're going to hear is how LSU was overrated. They couldn't even beat Florida. Who have Georgia played? I mean, it's the same song and dance as last year, right? You go to Notre Dame, beat them on the road with a freshman quarterback making his only start, and what do they tell you? Oh, that don't impress me. Notre Dame won 3 games last year. Meanwhile, what'd they go? Georgia was their only loss last year till what, week 7, 8, or 9, something like that. They finished 10-2 or something. I mean, you hear the same thing. South Carolina was beating us last year. And then after we humiliated them, then it's, well, South Carolina's overrated. Florida was beating us, then they're overrated. Mizzou was going to throw all over us, and then they're overrated. So I agree with you that I'm excited about this game because I think it's the truest test yet of where Georgia's at this year. But I don't expect some magic switch to be pulled where all of a sudden these idiots are going to start going, oh, Georgia played a good team and dominated them. No, they're just going to cry about how LSU was overrated and keep asking who have Georgia played. That's exactly what's going to happen.
I just don't think that they can score enough on her.
I don't either. I don't either. I don't think our offense is going to run up and down the field like we have been against some other teams, but their offense is our offense is better than their. I like our offense against their defense way better than I like their offense against our defense. I'd be surprised if they score 20 points.
I'd say the first team to 25 wins, and I don't see LSU getting that.
Yeah. That sounds right to me.
Hey man, did you hear about David Marshall breaking his foot in practice? That sucks.
Yeah, he's out. Wyatt is questionable. Hawkins Muckle is probably out. I mean, I got a call this morning wanting to know how much I weighed. I said, man, I can't play defensive line. I mean, we're hurting on defensive line. You know who I'm excited for, though? Here's a guy. He hadn't played a whole – well, I mean, we play a lot of guys along the defensive line. But Jordan Davis. Now, this guy's a freshman. He's huge, too. He's like 6'4", 6'5", 340 pounds. He could be what we've been looking for in terms of a replacement for John Atkins. Man, that has really hurt us losing John Atkins. I mean, I know Roquan and Lorenzo got all the attention, sort of. But, man, John Atkins would eat up 2 and 3 blocks of play last year at nose tackle. And we've really been missing that this year, and I like what I've seen from Jordan Davis so far. Now he's young and kind of raw and obviously inexperienced, but he's got huge upside in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. Okay, Uncle Lou, you know how much of a Roquan Smith fan I am. You know, I got the Roquan jersey.
Right.
You know how much I love Roquan. But I honestly think that John Atkins was a bigger loss to our defense than Roquan was.
Yeah.
Just because of the fact that he just absorb so many blocks for Roquan to be able to move around as good as he did.
Yeah. Oh, I agree 100%. All those tackles that Roquan got up the middle, you got to give at least half the credit to Atkins. Now Roquan was a beast. I mean, he played sideline to sideline. I mean, he'd run people down on sweeps and things like that. But you got to give Atkins a lot of credit for Georgia's up the middle run defense last year. No question about it.
Yeah, and I think it also hurt us losing Trent Thompson too. I mean, he was okay at Georgia, but it just hurt us in depth. You know how nice it would be to have him right now with all these D-line.
Yeah.
Really don't think he should have went to the draft, but
no.
It's what it is.
Right.
But hey, I heard Are you really blocked on TJLSU Dad's channel?
Yeah, and I really don't know why. I mean, me and him get along. He was one of the first guests I had when I started this daily show. I don't know, like
Yeah,
in
I remember
January
him
or
being on.
February, and I mean, I really liked the guy, and I watch a lot of his videos. I don't comment on a lot of them or like argue in his comment section or anything. But with it being LSU week, I went over to his channel and went to leave a couple of comments on there, and lo and behold, Uncle Lou is blocked from commenting on there. So that's the end of me watching TJLSU Dad's channel, which is a shame with this being Corn Dog Week.
Yeah, I thought it was weird because, I mean, I watch his videos too. I don't necessarily agree with everything he does, but I think he's a nice guy.
Right.
I don't know. I've watched his videos pretty consistently here this football season, and I haven't heard him say anything reference to you or anything to reason why he was blocking you or anything.
Yeah,
I thought it was weird that he blocked
I
you.
really don't know, and it can't, it must be something recent, like over the past couple of months, because I don't know if you remember a couple of videos he made during the off season that weren't necessarily football related. Do you know what I'm talking about? I don't really.
What were they about?
Well, they were political videos.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I don't really want to get. I don't want to get into a political discussion here, but he made a couple of political videos that were very unpopular given his target demographic, and he was catching a lot of heat. And I came to his defense in the comment section on some of those videos, not agreeing or disagreeing with what he was saying politically, but just saying you shouldn't let this guy's political views, you know, make you this mad, or I forget exactly what it was, but I was taking up for him in the comment section, and that's the last time I can remember commenting on one of his videos.
Maybe he took that the wrong way.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. When I had him as a guest on the show, I sent him a message on Twitter. So it's not like that wasn't worked out in the comment section on YouTube or whatever. So I don't know if I might have been blocked when that was going. I don't know. I have no idea. But anyway, if y'all aren't blocked, go over to TJLSU Dad's channel and type in the comment section, unblock Uncle Lou, and see if he'll come to his senses. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and he also, if you watch his videos, I mean, here recently, he's like, yeah, we're going to beat Georgia, all this stuff, but he kind of he respects Georgia. He gives Georgia a lot of respect, and he gives them credit for a lot. Like last year, he definitely thought that they were the best team in the nation. He really wanted them to beat out. He hates Alabama. He was really wanting them to beat Alabama.
Yeah.
And, you know, he made a video. I don't know if you saw the video about, the Adam Sasser situation. Well, he made a video about that, saying that Georgia handled that really well and all that stuff. So, I don't know. I just thought it was weird.
Yeah, I like the guy. I've never had a problem with him. I like him a lot. I think he knows what he's doing when it comes to YouTube. I mean, I know he makes some people mad. He obsesses with Alabama a little bit too much for some people's taste. But again, he knows what he's doing. I mean, you can't have a college football channel and not talk about Alabama. If you do, you're just missing out on a huge opportunity. I mean, he knows what he's doing. He's a smart guy. Seems to know football okay. So I mean, I don't know, but anyway, I don't want to turn this into a show about TJLSU.
Yeah. Hey, let me before I go, let me give you this one piece of information that I have. I think it'll get you really excited for this game Saturday.
All right.
So I have a source who happens to be a coach for Georgia. He's a defensive backs coach. I'm not going to say who he is just because I don't know if that'll get him in trouble or not, but I'll just say he's an ex-player. You should know who I'm talking about.
Yep.
He told me, I was in Athens last weekend, and he told me on the phone a couple days ago that the kids this week are practicing harder than he's ever seen them practice before. And he said practice is just crazy this week. Like, the atmosphere in practice, Kirby's getting after him, they're getting after each other, and he says it's just an absolute slugfest in practice, and he feels like the defense is going to have their best week of the year so far, and the offense is going to have their best week of the year so far. So that got me really juiced for this game, and it's definitely a credible source. It's a freaking coach. So
Yeah, well, hey, next time you talk to him, find out what the hell's going on with Demetrius Robertson. Tell him you promise you won't tell anybody, and then email me, and it'll be between me and you. I promise. But I need to know what the deal is there. I need to know what's going on.
I kind of don't really ask him questions.
Yeah.
I don't really ask him questions. I normally just kind of let him, say what he wants to say. I don't really.
Yeah. Well,
just straight up
if the opportunity presents itself, I would love to have some insider info on the real story of Demetrius. Right? Kirby was asked about it a bunch this week, and he gave a big, long, meaningless answer about trying hard in practice and blah 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 blah. But
he did give me some inside info about Justin Fields, though.
Yeah.
He told me that he said Justin is very, very talented and can make every single throw with his arm and everything, and it's great. He does really well in practice. He just says, as far as coming up to the line, reading the defense, he just isn't there yet as far as where Jake Fromm is.
Yeah.
He said, now, if Jake Fromm wasn't on the team and Jacob Eason was the starter, he probably would have already eclipsed him. He said he's a little bit better than Easton was at that, but he's nowhere near. Well, I wouldn't say nowhere near, but he said he's just a little bit behind Jake Fromm, and that's why I think that's kind of why he's not throwing as much, because they don't want to put him at risk, So I thought that was a good thing to hear, I guess, but that's what he told me about that.
All right, well, thanks for the info, and thanks for the call, and hope we can get a win this weekend. Thank you also, and too.
I bust my ass, Lou. That's what I do every day. So you be careful who you mouth off to, jerk off.
706-510-6817 is the number. If you want to be on the show today. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou, though.
Good morning, Uncle Lou.
Hey, good morning, though.
Hey, I'm not the only Razorback fan that calls in anymore, am I?
You're one of few, very few.
I was about to say, I don't hear this from Razorbacks. Listen, I got a little question, not about Notre Dame or anything, but one of my favorite players to ever watch was Darren McFadden. I remember going down and I got a signed jersey on my wall. And
Nice.
I just remember being a kid and riding my bike down there.
He was one of my favorite. McFadden is one of my favorite college football players in the last 20 years. I loved watching him in college. He was just dominating.
He was a combination of power and speed. But I was wondering, as a Georgia fan, which is your favorite player you ever watched, and what's your fondest memories of?
I don't really have a particular one. David Pollock, Thomas Davis were two of my favorite guys on defense. Hines Ward on offense. Champ Bailey was fun to watch. A.J. Green, Noshawn Moreno was fun to watch. There's a handful. It would be impossible for me to pick one. I would.
Forget about us bottom feeders. There's a big battle going on between Arkansas and Tennessee right now for the first SEC win.
Yeah, who's going to get that?
I got a feeling this is the weekend.
Well, both of them have a chance this weekend.
I don't think Tennessee's beating them.
I don't think either is going to win, but I think both have a chance.
Right. I think Tennessee will get to the fourth quarter and does what Tennessee does best, find a way to lose it. And I think Arkansas, this might be the week. But I could be wrong, I'm not delusional. Our team sucks.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people, you looked a little better, I guess, against Alabama. I don't know. I know you got blown out, but you scored some points, you moved the ball. Lots of people get blown out by Alabama, so hard to really tell anything by that game.
True. But anyway, I was just calling to ask about your favorite Georgia player, but I'll let you get the next call, buddy.
All right, thank you. I appreciate the call. Thank you. This thing is really pissing me off now. This stupid OBS thing is connecting and reconnecting every 10 or 15 seconds. And I'm going to have to end the show now because if I don't, I'm going to go on a cussing tirade. And I don't like to do that on YouTube, and I'm not supposed to do that. But I'm literally sitting here watching this connection thing on this UBS, and every 10 or 15 seconds, it's connecting, disconnecting, reconnecting, disconnecting, reconnecting, connected, disconnected, reconnecting, connected, and it's really starting to piss me off with this stupid OBS thing to the point. I'm close to. Good morning, you're on with Uncle Lou.
Hi, Uncle. Good morning. I just wanted to encourage you really quickly. I know, just really quickly with the LSU dad, that stuff happens all the time to people. Like, sometimes, I'm sure he knows why he blocked you, but yeah, it happens to me all the time. It happens to people all the time. That's just going to happen.
Oh, no doubt.
So that's all
this
I
ain't
really
my
wanted
first
to say about
rodeo.
that. Yeah. All right. So something you always bring up. Like, I just want to know why you always bring up the fact that the Big Ten hasn't scored a point in the last 3 years.
Because it's hilarious and embarrassing. Because it's hilarious and embarrassing, sir. Do you have any idea how hard? Listen, it's hard to get shut out in college football. Do you agree with that? In general.
Yeah.
Okay. What percentage of games a year in college football are shutouts? Less than 1%. It's got less than 0.5%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Big Ten did it 2 years in a row in the playoffs. That's embarrassing. It's sad. It's humiliating. So that's why I talk about it. This is a trash talk channel, and when a team makes the playoffs and can't score a friggin' point, that's grade A trash talk material. And the fact that you're calling in asking about it is just proof that it works.
But how come you never bring up the fact that Ohio State won the championship in 2014? Because you know how many.
Why would I? Why not bring up the fact that FSU won it in 2013? How are they doing this year? I mean, what does that have to do with anything?
Well, it has something to do with the college football playoff.
No.
Is all I'm saying. Like,
if Ohio State makes the college football playoff this year, it's not going to be because they won it in 2014, sir.
But you never bring up the positives.
This isn't a rainbow and unicorn channel, sir.
Okay. Well, you know what's also
you can go to
hilarious?
11warriors.com. If you
Georgia-
want to read how great Ohio State used to be, you can go to 11warriors.com. You don't need to come to LouTube for that.
College football playoff. Georgia has never won it, ever.
You come to LouTube for a dose of reality. You don't come to LouTube to hear rainbows and unicorns about Ohio State, do you? It's sad, bro.
I watch it 'cause
it's sad to make the college football playoff and not score a point. If you're going to sit here and tell me you weren't embarrassed to watch Ohio State lose in a playoff game 31-0, you're lying to yourself.
Well, it's also sad that Georgia blew a 13-0 lead in the college football playoff.
But you can't get a lead without scoring a point, sir.
Okay. So you keep bringing up the one time we didn't score a point in 2016.
Yeah, the last time you made the college football playoff, you did not score a point. The last time you played Georgia, you didn't beat them.
Okay. The last time we played an SEC team, we won.
What's your record against the SEC?
that?
Your record against the SEC is 5-12, sir. The SEC owns you.
Our recent record is 1-0.
Okay, recent. What's your recent playoff record? 0-1. So why do you want me to talk about 2014, but you don't want me to talk about your record against the SEC? You can't have it both ways, sir.
I do.
You can't have it both ways, buddy.
But you don't talk about it both ways. You only talk about the 2016. I want you to talk about 2016 and 2014. I don't want you to just talk about 2014. I want you to talk about 2014 and 2016 instead of
No.
You know what I'm saying? Also, 2015, Ohio State we had a bad loss against Michigan State in the snow, so we kind of had a fluke game against Michigan State. We were left out of the playoff. We were clearly the better Big Ten team. That's why we didn't score a point in 2015. I mean, because the worser team got in. I'll agree with you. We did not deserve to get in 2016. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. That was bad. But anyways, so also you said another thing you said was impressive was Alabama dominating the best conference in college football over the past 10 or so years. The argument is I don't think the SEC, I mean, I would just say Alabama's dominated college football, not the best conference.
Then you're an absolute retard.
I mean, really...
then there's no help for you, son. Then there's zero help for you. If you honestly believe that. If you're trolling, that's one thing. But if you honestly believe that, then you're college football ignorant. Because if you take Alabama and pretend they don't exist,
okay,
the SEC... No, you let me finish, son. If you take Alabama out of the SEC... I'll hang up on you, or you're gonna sit here and listen to me. Those are your two options. If you take Alabama out of the SEC, they have twice as many national titles as the Big Ten this century. Twice as many. And if you want to play this game about how you're cherry picking one team per conference, then explain to me how many national titles the Big Ten has if you take out Ohio State. How many in the last 20 years? How many? How many, sir?
No,
how many? How many? How many?
Okay.
Answer the question. None. Okay. Take Clemson out of the. Take Clemson out. No. Shut up and listen. Take Clemson out of the ACC. How many national titles this century?
I don't really know, but
Okay. Take Oklahoma out of the Big 12. How many national titles this century for? No. Take Texas. Take Texas out of the Big 12. How many national titles for the Big 12 this century? None. Take Southern Cal out of the Pac-12. How many national titles for the Pac-12 this century? None. Shut the hell up about the SEC as Alabama and that's it. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're an idiot. An idiot if you really believe that, sir. Because you can do away with every national title Alabama's won this century, and the SEC still has twice as many as any other conference, okay? The SEC still has just as many as the rest of the conferences combined, sir, okay? So stop making yourself look like a bumbling idiot. The SEC's record against every other Power 5 conference speaks for itself. Sir, we have the best record against the other Power 5 conferences, better than any other Power 5 conference, sir, and it's not close. It's not close. Stop making yourself look like a clown talking about it's just Alabama and that's it. You're a moron who pays zero attention to college football if you truly believe that. Now tell me right now, do you believe that, or are you an irrelevant troll?
I really believe that, but can you
You're
give me a
football
chance
ignorant.
to defend myself?
You can try, but I
You're
promise you it's not going to do any good. But go.
Okay, so 2011, no other conference even had a chance because the BCS didn't. They put LSU up. They put one SEC team up against another SEC team. Obviously, the SEC is going to win that
because
game.
they were the two best teams.
2012. Okay. I'm just saying no one else even got a chance.
2012, the SEC had the two best teams too, and they didn't put them in the BCS. They didn't put them in the BCS title game. Why?
2012, it was Alabama versus, of course, an undefeated Notre Dame team. That I don't know. That's just how it goes. Like,
and who was the second best team in America that year? And who was the second best team in America? Say it. Say it. Say it.
Well, Ohio State in 2012?
Yeah, say it.
In 2012.
It was Georgia.
Ohio State was undefeated that year, but we had bowl sanction. We couldn't go to a bowl game that year because we
okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay, so?
We could have had a chance.
Yeah, shoulda, coulda, woulda. You could have scored a point, but you didn't.
Well,
Listen, I know, man. I know. Listen, the AP poll, which is comprised of college football writers from coast to coast, is all biased towards the SEC in an effort to prop up Alabama. The coaches poll, which is comprised of college football coaches, is biased towards the SEC in an effort to prop up Alabama. The BCS system, when we had that, the computers were biased towards Alabama, so they did away with that and put humans in charge of the BCS. Breaking news, the humans were biased towards Alabama in an effort to prop up the SEC. Now we have a playoff committee. Playoff committee is comprised of people from coast to coast, from every Power 5 conference, and it's all just a big sham to prop up Alabama to help make the SEC look good. Everything is SEC bias. ESPN, SEC bias. BCS, SEC bias. Playoff committee, SEC bias.
That definitely is, because they own the SEC network. So it's
okay. They also own they own the Longhorn network too, sir, and they've owned it for way longer than they've owned the SEC network. How's Texas been looking the last 10 years?
So
How's Texas been looking the last 10 years?
Texas and the SEC.
What does ESPN have? ESPN has zero to do with the playoff committee. Nothing. So what does ESPN owning the SEC network have to do with the playoff committee being biased towards the SEC, sir? How does that make any sense at all?
I'm not saying the playoff committee is biased towards the SEC, but I'm saying that ESPN is definitely biased towards the SEC. That's all I'm saying. Because they want their conference to do good. Like in 2014 when we won it all.
Sir,
like
ESPN has television rights to every single conference. ESPN owns television rights to every single conference, sir, including the Big Ten. Okay? Who's playing on ABC this week? Monday, the Saturday night game.
Not sure, actually.
Okay. Well, let me enlighten you. It's Michigan and Wisconsin. Where's game day going this week? Is game day going to the number 2 team in the country traveling to a one-loss LSU team in one of the biggest games of the year? Or is game day, which mind you is an ESPN program, are they going to another Big Ten game having been to 0 SEC games all year? Which did they choose this week?
I actually don't know, to be honest.
I'm not surprised, sir. To be honest with you, I'm not surprised at all that you don't know. But they're going to the Michigan-Wisconsin game. A battle of 2 one-loss teams that are ranked between 10 and 15. Instead of going to an undefeated number 2 team in America facing a one-loss LSU team. Game day hasn't been to an SEC game all year. They've been to how many Big Ten games they've been to? Multiple. You know what? I'm sick of ESPN and this Big Ten bias.
Okay.
I'm sick of it, man.
Well, anyways.
I'm sick of it. The Big Ten bias is the only reason that Ohio State got shut out in the playoffs a few years ago. That's it. If it wasn't for the Big Ten bias, Ohio State wouldn't even have been in the playoffs and therefore wouldn't have got humiliated. It's just this Big Ten bias is really pissing me off.
It's Ohio. I'm not gonna lie. I'll agree with you. They're biased towards Ohio State too because Ohio State brings in the most money. But I mean, yeah, like we should not have gotten in 2016. It should have been Penn State. But yeah, I mean, I'll agree with you on that one. But I'm just saying, like the SEC, ever since they expanded it to 4 teams. Like, okay, Alabama has won it 2 times out of the 4 times they've had it, but like it wasn't like it's not like the SEC's winning it every year. You know what I'm saying?
They're in it every year.
Well, yeah, of course they're in it every year because they're never gonna leave. I mean, yeah, they haven't left out an SEC team yet, but I don't know. I still think they need to expand the playoff even more, but whatever. But, like, we didn't even get... In my opinion, I thought Ohio State deserved a chance last year. Because, like...
You want a hug,
I don't
man?
know,
Where do you live, man? I'm going to come to you and give you a hug, and I'll give you a ribbon and a participation trophy, man. I'm glad you felt like they deserved a chance. You should have felt like playing defense against Iowa. That's what you should have done. And believe me, I'm way more pissed off about you giving up 55 to Iowa than you are. Because if it wouldn't have been for that, Georgia would have won the title. Because we would have beat you like you owed us money. Instead, we had to play Alabama and give up a miracle Hail Mary to the Pineapple on 2nd and 26. So, yeah, I'm a little pissed off about you giving up 55 to Iowa, too.
That's your fault.
No, that's your fault. No, that's your fault. You gave up 55 to Iowa, sir. No, you gave up 55 to Iowa, and that cost my Georgia Bulldogs a title.
Alabama. That's what we did. You guys decided, oh, crap, we lost Alabama. Blame someone else for this. Well, I'm just saying, last time we played Alabama, we just won the game. Hey, man, I hope you're not taking too much of this stuff to heart. Like, I don't know. Like, I was just, like, wanted to point some of this stuff out.
No, you did this on purpose. You did this on purpose. You knew I was already aggravated today, and you called up with this same song and dance that you called up with before because you know I'm the most easily triggered person on the entire internet.
That's not true. I was honestly just wanted to point some of this stuff out. And honestly, like, I hope we get, like, I'm not trying to trash talk you at this point. Like, I'm just saying, like, I hope we get a chance, like, to play you guys.
You had a chance. You backed out. You backed out, man. You had a chance.
I mean, personally,
the list of things you don't know, you must be one of Santa's helpers with this long-ass list you carry around of things you don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a ton of things I don't know.
Well, I mean, 45 different times in this conversation, we've come across things you don't know. Just in the course of this conversation. I don't understand how you call me up in an effort to point a few things out to me, your words, but then it's constantly, I don't know. Man, you got my neck hurting, man. I'm going to have to go. Man, this guy made me do something to my neck. The computer's not working right. This suck nut and Ohio State fan. Man, what did this guy do to me, man? Good morning, you're on with Uncle Lou.
Good morning. It's Comic Dude 45. How are you?
I'm good, man. Go ahead.
Okay, so first, don't turn green, please. So, don't you love it when, like, okay, you know what? He's probably taking after Urban Meyer, in my opinion.
I'm about to be taken after Urban Meyer and canceling this show for 2 weeks because of a heart condition. Fake heart condition.
Oh.
I'm gonna draw up my own doctor's note, show you guys. Can't do the live show today. Fake heart condition on deck.
Well, hey, we love your shows, man.
Anyway.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh. Okay, yeah. So, I got some questions for you, like this little technicality before I move on. Do you know how you can make an intro video for live shows? Because I'm planning on starting my own streams. So do you know how you do that?
Yeah, man, but I can't give you a video tutorial here on the Uncle Lou live show. But if you email me, I'll be happy to help you out and point you in the right direction.
All right.
Yeah, just email me. Email me, and I'll be happy to help you out. People email me all the time asking me technical questions about videos and stuff, and I don't mind answering those questions. But I'm not doing that live on the air. I mean, this ain't the King Commando show. If you don't know what that is, Google it. If you don't know what Google is, hang yourself. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Morning, Lou. It's Gators number 1. I just wanted to say, so I know we're playing LSU this week. I think we'll win like somewhere around 35-17. But what do you think? Say we are to win that game, which, you know, you and I both agree that if we're going to lose game this season, that'd probably be the one. Would you be more afraid of going on the road to Kentucky or Florida? I mean, I'm a little just Florida's in the back of my mind a little. Do you agree with that?
Florida's getting better every week. Kentucky is one-dimensional. Kentucky won't be able to beat us on their best day. I'm not at all worried about the Kentucky game. Their quarterback can't complete passes, and Kirby Smart can shut down a one-dimensional team. I'm not concerned about Kentucky at all. I never was. I'm not really that concerned about Florida either because I don't think they have the pieces on offense that Dan Mullen needs. I mean, they struggle to score points against every good team they've played, LSU, Kentucky, Mississippi State. I mean, they score in the teens. I mean, okay, I know they scored 28 or 29 against LSU, but that was a pick six at the end of the game. So you take that, their offense scored, 20 points, 21 points, whatever it was. Florida's offense is not impressive to me this year. We'll shut them down. Honestly, if Georgia wins this week, they're going 12-0. I mean, that's just all there is to it. So, and I don't want to hear anything from any idiots in the comment section or anywhere else about how I'm just an idiot homer or whatever, because Georgia in preseason, Georgia was picked to go 12-0 by everybody with a pulse. I said no, we'll go 11-1. Probably a loss to LSU. So don't jump on me if we beat LSU and I now think we have a chance to go 12-0. Don't do that because I'm not this idiot that's been on here. So you've never heard me get on here and say Georgia's going 15-0 like some of these Voltard fans that you see all the time. Every March and April they're going 15-0. I'm not that guy. Okay, my goal every single year is to win the East and make it to Atlanta with a chance to make the playoffs. If we go 11-1, that'll happen. There's no difference between 11-1 and 12-0 to me. As long as we win the East to make it to Atlanta. But if we beat LSU, we're most likely going 12-0. So deal with it, comment trolls. Type on that. Type.
Out of the West, just if things really shake up or
no. Bama's coming out of the West. I mean, LSU's eliminated this weekend. I mean, Bama would have to lose 3 games not to win the West. That's not happening. LSU's fixing to take their second loss. Auburn's already got 2 losses. We're going to give them a 3rd loss. Mississippi State's got how many losses already? At least 2 that I know of. They've already beat Texas A&M.
Yeah,
So, no. I mean, Alabama will have the West wrapped up here in the next couple of weeks.
And then, do you think Fields, I mean, if we get up to a fast start, say we get off to a slow start, you think Fields comes in? I mean, you could see he ran a couple times, he threw it like 6 times, but like you could just tell, especially on that first handoff to Holyfield, you know, he's just such a weapon to where him being a decoy is so valuable, how we can just get the running game going. I mean, our offense is way more fluid when he's on the field. Although Fromm performed very well, I just think...
I think we'll use Fields the same way we've been using him the rest of the season, which is there is no plan. There's no set amount of snaps he's going to get. There's no certain time in the game he's going to go in. Depending on how the game goes, that will dictate when Kirby puts him in. I do think he'll play. As far as what he'll do, I think it'll be basically what we've seen him do a lot of times already. I think he'll come in. It'll be a lot of zone read, where he either keeps it or hands it off. Maybe he throws a pass or 2. I don't buy into this idea that we're hiding things. I don't expect to see anything from Demetrius Robertson. I don't expect us to have a grown-up passing game. I don't expect us to get 11 sacks on the quarterback. I expect us to come out, dominate this game with screen passes, curls, and swing routes, keep LSU bottled up on offense because Joe Burrow is terrible, and win the game somewhere. I think we'll score in the 30s, and LSU will be lucky to score 20. It'll be just like every other game we've played this year. That's my opinion. Until I see differently, I'm tired of getting let down. So that's what's going to happen.
One more question before I go. Do you think, say we're down like 14-3 mid-second quarter, they take Fromm out and Field scores a touchdown, say he stays in, would he start the next week if he led us to a win against LSU, or would they still give Fromm the benefit of the doubt?
I think they would give Fromm the benefit of the doubt, and I think it would be very dangerous to put Fields in the game down 14-3. That doesn't mean it won't happen, but we'll see. Georgia has sort of I love Kirby Smart. He's way smarter than I am. I support him 110%. He's done more for Georgia in 2 years than I ever could have hoped. I think they have royally screwed up the way they've handled Justin Fields this year, in my opinion. This guy should have been throwing the ball 15 times a game the first 4 weeks of the year. So all I hear is that he's got all the tools, but he needs to learn how to read defenses and recognize blitzes and things like that. Well, you're not going to learn to recognize very many blitzes by handing the ball off 25 times in the fourth quarter for 4 games in a row and 4 blowouts. He should have been throwing the ball in the second half of those games. Nothing will ever change my mind.
All right. Thanks, Lou.
All right, thanks for the call. Yeah. I'm going to have to end the show because I'm starting to get pissed off just for no reason, and that's not good. It wasn't fair to that guy. That was a great call. That was a 5-star call, and I'm not
5-star caller.
I'm not irritated at that guy. It's just situation days got me irritated, and his suck nut wants to call in and answer a bunch of questions by saying I don't know. Anyway, I appreciate everybody that watched. For real, y'all stay safe if you're in the way of that hurricane. They've canceled school here for the next couple of days. They've canceled all Lou Jr. soccer games. So I don't know. But we'll be fine. You don't have to worry about me. It's just going to be a bunch of rain here. But if you're in Southwest Georgia or the Florida Panhandle or whatever, stay safe. Be careful. Hope you have everything you need. Plenty of bread and milk. If you have a 3D printer, let me know. I will be happy to email you some bread and milk. You'll just have to print it out. But anyway, you guys stay safe. Thanks for watching. Next live show will be tomorrow, Thursday night at 10 p.m. Have a good morning.